Where does the music go? It is the memory of music that moves me, the lifts, the swell, the light descending, and then that whole note resting whole before the final crescendo. And I am alone, transported in this state, and my aches are not of the body, but for love that reaches through the ledger, through the smudges of ink. I cannot speak. I have never been able to speak of some things. It was considered safe to let me play. My father foolishly thought it was safe if only they knew what I did with my music, what I said, how I spoke to them with my music. And when I reach those ultimate notes, the polar ends, the black and white keys, what am I reaching for? Sometimes justice. More often, I am reaching for God. Am I not? Head on piano, I rest. Head and crook of arm on the piano, I rest. The piano body, a near living thing, an hulk, an anchor for someone myself not bestowed with the gift of speech. And some days I lean into its luscious curve and feeling its hefty Rubenesque beauty, I peer down to my reflection, asking where does the music go? And I drift back to memories of observing, witnessing exactly where the music goes. Through the din of voices, the heady scent of roses freshly picked from the garden, the scraping of chairs as people gathered in cafes and churches and parlors to hear me play. In the thick, heavy air of party rooms in winter, the music bound us to earth, each note seeping into our clothing as if the cloth were heavily laden with mist. We had the weight of music cloaking our shoulders. And then in the early morning light, when all had gone home and hung their clothes by barely opened windows, the scent of roses, powder, smoke, the scent of music would lift from wool, silk, cotton, satin, and drift up into the morning air. But what of those summer soirees, when doors and windows stood wide open, and arms were lightly covered, and the music couldn't be contained in the room or caught between the petals of the rose or in the folds of clothing? Where then did the music go? In summer, in the low-grade heat of evening, we open our mouths to the music, lean forward in our chairs, fingers tap on knees, feet shift and lift with the music's momentum, and we are forced to capture with our body those fleeting notes before they drift outdoors, out windows to the night, before they lift up towards the evening star. And we must be particles of such magnitude too. I believe it to be so. I believe that we too hold those melodies within us. I have never asked, never been interested in knowing where does the time go. But the music, why heavenward, each star a note, each star a soul. And now, each night, after I've exhausted myself from practicing, no matter how hot or cold, humid or frigid, I step out of doors. I look up, asking, which star I love? Which star? I hold my face open to the constellations and receive their reply, note